Hello, welcome back to Metal Antics Podcast, episode 52. My name is Chris. I'm here today with my co-host Michael.
Hello, or hello.
Here with Isaiah.
Hello.
And this episode is brought to you today by Generation Underground's new album, Cold Blooded Volume 2, featuring the single Our Betrayal, featuring Pablo Viveros of Chelsea Grin. That comes out April 20th of this year, about a month away.
Be on the lookout.
And be on the lookout for it.
I'm putting my 2 cents. Check it out, Generation Underground. Good friends with us. They gave us a very lengthy episode. All right.
The homies.
The homies,
Yeah.
all right.
And we're here today with a very special guest, Greg Diamond. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is my first podcast I've done with ads, so this is nice.
This is one of our first
like
podcasts
this.
with ads.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like
Big
the Generation Underground guys too. Good for them getting Pablo on a track.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, 422, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, they've been holding on to that track for like 2 years now.
Damn. I feel like a lot of people probably have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with the way things have been. A lot of people probably just been holding their best stuff.
Yeah, holding records, it's tough. I feel like a lot of people had to drop records in 2020, and then they're like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to tour for a year and a half. Like, hopefully kids don't forget it, forget the record, but...
Yeah. I don't even know how to give an intro. You do a million different things.
Yeah.
If you could give yourself a summary, what would you say?
I'd say that I've been involved in music for a long time. Specifically, I have severe loyalty to the New Jersey music scene. But yeah, band member, was a drummer for a couple bands, and then started booking shows, high school, picked that back up when I was actually still touring 2015, 16, and then been doing that since. Amongst other things, worked for an agency. Now I work for a digital distro and still book shows on the side and still play drums on the side too. So a little bit of everything,
How do you manage all that?
I was going to say, especially with the digital distribution and all that, that's a lot.
So it's been, I don't know, it's something about, I've always loved artist development. Like when my even like high school when I started the Air I Breathe, and that was like freshman year, 8th grade freshman year, like a talent show band that discovered like Under Oath, and then I always loved booking, like getting on shows and like having to hustle and sell tickets and pay for you guys might not know this, but like the MySpace Sons of Narrow layout used to be like a huge thing to get like your little banner that has like the teardrop on it and stuff like that. Like just I don't know if you guys remember that.
I was way too young for MySpace, but I had a cousin who had MySpace. And she had like some crazy shit. It was like pink and glitter and stuff. It looked like Cameron the rapper.
Yeah, that used to be crazy.
Yeah, I had a MySpace.
Like,
that used
go
to
blind
be,
looking at it.
That used to be like the thing too, right? Like if you want to drop a new single, it's like, all right, we got to get a new MySpace layout. All right, $200, who can do it, right?
Does like a web designer have to do that? Or you just like put a picture on there? How does it work?
Hindsight, anyone could have done it, but it's like you would change like if you could take your Facebook profile, right, and you could change like the colors of it, and you could like put your it's kind of the same thing,
and you
right?
could put a song to play as soon as you clicked on your page. That was like the best part.
It was cool because you could go there and there's a music player, right,
like
right there where like your feed would be, so people can add your song and stuff like that. But
is it MySpace like a social media or is it a music type?
It's a social media, but now it got bought by I know like Justin Timberlake purchased it and turned it into like a music thing, and then he sold it.
When did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know, but I heard he purchased it and changed it into more of a music streaming service, and then he sold it for like a shit ton of money.
LimeWire is still a thing too, actually.
That's crazy. I
LimeWire
did not expect LimeWire to still be
LimeWire is still a thing too, I think.
damn, fuck yeah, LimeWire hanging down there. Are we allowed to curse on here? Is that cool?
I think
fucking
I said
love
2
it.
already.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, just like honestly, just like love of it. So I started booking like our own shows in Jersey, like VFW halls, when we were all in high school, because there wasn't like a lot of these venues like would not give a shit about us, and we were all like kind of like Bridgewater, Piscataway, some Edison kids, and then like Flemington kids. So we would throw VFW shows, and that was when like 300-400 people would come out to see like 5 or 6 local bands, because everybody was kind of from like different high schools. So like you would just like juice up all your friends throughout the week, like, yo, come see my band, it's $10, and like everybody would bring all these different pockets of kids and stuff like that. And the shows used to be insane. But yeah, you'd throw a little VFW show, you'd pay like $300 in rent, and you'd walk out with like $2,000. You're like, this is amazing. And then you blow it on just dumb shit.
Yeah. I feel like it's so hard to like do the local shows now when it's just local bands without like an insane headliner. Because like we've gone to local shows and it's really good friends of ours and a sick lineup, and you get like 50 people showing up, and it's such a shame that like not many people come out to support the local scene anymore. Yeah,
it's definitely a bummer because so even when I got into when we got signed and started touring and stuff like that, I feel like I was like a bit disconnected from the local scene for a couple of years, and then years went on, and then when I ended up starting to work at that venue Game Changer and booking there like 2015-ish, I had to like when I was like, what locals do I put on? It was like a whole new landscape of like locals. I was like out of touch, so like I had to ask some of my friends and some of the other kids in the scene, like, hey, I need you to like, who are these bands, this and that and whatnot, and kind of reestablish. But yeah, there was definitely like a bit of a difference. Now it kind of shifted to like, hey, we just want to open for the big shows, as opposed to why don't we create the big shows and make it more of like an event, right? Like not play like, and really, get all bands from different areas and, like, make it, like, a big deal. Because not only was it a show, but it was, like, you get to hang out and see everybody and stuff like that, It was a good community we had going on.
So, like, what do you do in your free time, since you're always so busy, to keep yourself, like, there, to not get overworked or anything?
I don't know, a lot of different stuff. That's a good question, my free time. I do... I like traveling a lot. I do like working out. It's kind of like a good like little escape I've had. Seeing a lot of friends and stuff like that. It's weird shifting from like because I basically started touring when I was 17 and then stopped touring beginning of 2019. I started up at a touring agency in New York. So I was basically gone. I was commuting from like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. And then, so I was always like, go. Like I could never like schedule plans, right? Like, cause when you're on tour, you're like, oh, this is happening next month. It's like, oh, I'm going to be gone for that patch, but I'll be home for this little patch or whatever. And the pandemic hit and everything. And then we were all like locked down. So it's been nice to like be able to like see friends and not have to like rush things in and stuff like that. So I guess just honestly, just like, chilling with the boys, like that's been like a big thing, like catching up with friends and just fucking. But also I love to see shows when like friends tours come through. Living in Philly now, I'm like a couple blocks from the Fillmore, and TLA is nearby and everything, so it's nice to see live music back and see some friends and stuff.
What's your first show you ever put on compared to the biggest one you've ever did?
First show I put on by myself was probably Flemington Elks Lodge, and it was called it Diamonds in the Sky Fest. I was 16. It was Texas in July. Paid them $300.
Oh shit.
The Air I Breathe, and then it was like Serena, Kill the Queen, Love You Made the Butcher, like all these local bands at the time. That probably did like 300 people, maybe something like that. And then biggest show, I don't know. I would say maybe like even like some of the Game Changer
a couple of big ones.
Game Changer festivals we did. We did when I was doing Diamond Concerts for a bit. We were doing some shows at Starland, and there was like the Motionless in White tour that came through there. An August Burns Red show that was pretty big. But I've been wanting to eventually in the coming years build out and do like a real festival, like maybe something on the beach, maybe something nearby or
sick.
Something like that. But yeah, definitely want to plan it well,
Yeah, we did a festival last year and it was at a Moose Lodge, and all I'm gonna say is they weren't the greatest people when it came to booking.
I'll say the show went really well.
The show was great.
The show went good.
They didn't allow moshing, which sucked because it was a pretty heavy lineup.
Was it indoor?
Outdoor.
I have no problem with dragging their name to the dirt.
But like you don't really want that,
You don't want to bury the Moose Lodge.
Moose Lodge
but yeah, they did some pretty messed up stuff, even during it. But it was really good overall. We had 11 bands. It went from like 12 to like 9 at night.
Nice.
It was awesome. We had a bunch of bands that like Empty Vessel. Right now, As Within, So Without, Knights of Malice.
Oh,
Yeah, a bunch of these bands, and we're doing it again this year.
Hell
We're doing at the Litter Box though.
I was about to say, did we announce
venues.
where we're
Been
doing?
trying to get in there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of like smaller, cool stuff that I want to get in there, but I can't get anyone to email me back.
I got you.
It's tough these
I
days.
got a
You guys
phone
got to
number.
plug me in there.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah.
Did we just hook him up?
You guys did just hook me up, yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering, did you book the Vanna show at Game Changer years ago?
Ooh, I feel like I did a couple Vanna shows.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Vanna. I have a Vanna tattoo.
Chris
Oh,
is a
hell
huge
yeah.
fan.
I love Vanna
He's
so
a huge
much.
fan of
I so this is probably way back, but there used to be a venue, like a church venue called the Aquifer in Clinton, New Jersey, and that was like the first time. That was when I was still in high school, still a local band.
Mhm.
But like they brought Vanna through, and like a bunch of these other bands I never really knew. But yeah, I think I did a couple Vanna shows. I know that they supported a couple tours too, and then in like Moss, we toured with Vanna. We did like a 4-day tour, and Vanna was on it, and they're just like some of the best dudes. So
Yeah, like I was obsessed with them, and then they broke up, and their
Yeah,
farewell
didn't you
tour.
go to their farewell
I went to
tour?
their farewell tour. I bought the VIP package and everything. I was obsessed.
Damn.
I was torn when they broke up.
Did you get your limited edition Vanna bag of Cheetos?
yeah.
That's
My
dope.
favorite part about the farewell tour.
Yeah, yeah, but it was awesome, and I reached out to their vocalist. Well, I guess ex-vocalist now, and he said he'll come on when he's around New York again.
Hell yeah.
And I'll probably shed tears when he comes on.
Shit tears or shed tears?
It
Probably
did sound
both.
like he said shit tears.
I heard
It did
shit
sound
tears.
I
like
will
he-
shed tears. There you go.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you for clearing
But
it up.
but yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like you book like bands that I fucking love, like the Boundary Spite one. I can't believe that's a tour.
Oh yeah, we. Were
I can't
talking-
believe
oh,
that. Yeah, I called
Yeah,
everyone.
Chris
I was
sent
like,
that
"Did
to
you
me
see the shit that
immediately.
just got announced? Like, this is insane."
Yeah.
But yeah, you keep the heavy shit in New Jersey. It's so hard to find like shows in New Jersey anymore. It's like everyone going to like the Gramercy Theater now, and
Yeah.
you know, like Allentown, PA. So
It's tough, man. That's why I'm just like, there have been like a couple venues that have like popped up. Like there was that Chambers spot in New Brunswick, and I know it was more of like a record store kind of vibe, but I got there late, but I hit them up, and I was like, like if you guys are trying to do something new or you need some funding or something like that, let me know, because I would love to get behind some type of like another venue in Jersey, like a 300 cap to 500, so it's even like, like a nicer spot, so you can do a local show there, or you can bring through like a Spite or something like that, and just do it right, run it well, and everything like that. And I think Central Jersey needs it, because like when I was a
Definitely.
kid in Flemington, it's like if you wanted to play at we played the break contest at the Pony, like my mom had to drive me in her minivan like an hour and 20 minutes to get down there, and it's like, I know even you guys, I mean, like you can rip the Parkway, but it's like, fuck, like there used to be so many things that we would be able to do, and like Bound Brook had venues, like there was a lot of Edison, like there were a lot of things in this area that it was like, this is sick. And now it's like I feel like we don't really have anything up here, right? Like,
Yeah, no, you really do have to travel a while to get
gotta
to
go
a
to
good
the
venue.
shore
Yeah.
and like Starland, but it's like unless you're massive or you're gonna be like one of the local bands, like it's tough to like really build out something. So
yeah, so I guess like the Litter Box is a good addition. Right now it's like mainly like a hardcore venue. It's got like a 250 cap.
nice.
It's not bad. It's in a cool
Yeah,
spot downtown
we went
Elizabeth.
to a show there, which
Yeah, we went to check it out. It was really, really cool. Like, I personally didn't know any of the artists that played, but they were like hardcore.
It was really good.
They
I
had a
liked
lot
it.
of people show up just to come support a local band and a venue.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
I think they do more than just.
Well, yeah, but like they do like alternative like hip hop
Yeah,
artists and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I'm saying I think
But
it's
like
more
I would say it's
than
like 80% like
I think it's more
hardcore.
than music too. I think they had like an art show there or something.
They have a flea market.
Maybe that's what it was.
Flea market. I think every Saturday.
That's probably what it was then. I saw like paintings on the wall or whatever. But
Yeah, but
That's dope.
yeah, it's good. It's good to have something new around. Like when I saw like them pop up, I was like, holy shit! Like the singer from The Story So Far is another band, and he played there like in one of the first shows. So I
did
thought
not
that
know
was
that.
pretty cool.
That is dope. Yeah, I gotta figure out who I gotta get plugged in over there, because I got a lot of stuff that I have to like kind of not pass on, but like either put it somewhere that it shouldn't be or whatnot. But I feel like I could provide a lot of things for that room. So
Yeah, I talked. They're owned by like 4 people, like 4 co-owners, really cool dudes,
nice.
and they're just looking to upgrade it right now.
Hell
and just
yeah.
get it better. It used to be a church,
Yeah.
and it's on the 2nd floor.
Oh, cool.
So
Whoa.
it's
So
pretty
you
cool.
walk in and you can definitely tell it's a church.
How
Yeah.
what's the capacity on that?
250.
And it's on the 2nd floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fucking cool. They were playing The Sopranos on like a
Oh, yeah,
screen
they have a
behind the
projector
band
in the back.
the whole time. It was cool.
That's dope.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'll
like
definitely
that
have to
house
check it out.
party where everyone fell to the floor.
Yeah, they even posted like one time they were all just playing Smash on it. They were just playing games. I was like, that's just cool as how they just play video games on it
Damn,
or anything.
that is
Yeah,
cool.
it's like a venue that's not owned by like. It's owned by people who love music, not people
Yeah.
by like who
Who
love
are in it
money.
for-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's great though. That's what I'm saying. Just need something to continue on thriving and bringing in new stuff and trying things. So, yeah, that's awesome.
And it's crazy that we don't have any like venues in Central Jersey, considering how like big the population is up here and how many people love metal and everything in Central Jersey.
Yeah.
It really, a lot of people can't travel all the way to the shore to go see a show. So
Yeah, like Asbury's what, about an hour away from here?
yeah,
Starland is about 30 minutes, which isn't bad, but like you said,
Far and few between. Yeah.
you gotta be huge to play
Yeah.
it. And what else is here? There's like pretty much nothing except you got Chamber 43 in New Brunswick.
Yeah, well, they're closed now. They had to
Oh, they
close.
closed?
Yeah, that was like I got to them a little bit late.
Oh
but
shit!
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what else do you got now besides just random places? There's like a show that's supposed to be in Rahway somewhere at someone's house.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
Wait,
Like,
where?
I have no idea. I have to
There's
find out.
always like
I think it's like right around here.
yeah, around my place. There's always like I don't know, maybe they're like probably like some dudes in high school, but I was playing like their band shit in their garage by
Probably there.
yeah. I know exactly what you're
Why not
talking about.
BBs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it's there.
maybe.
But yeah, like, so what are some artists that you're recently into now? Like, who are your favorite bands? Let's say all time and right now. Give me like a few of each.
Favorite band of all time, I have to say, is Under Oath. That's
a
like
good pick.
like Aaron Gillespie, like fucking. I mean, like Travis Barker got me into like a lot of certain type of drumming, but like Aaron Gillespie, like when it went to like heavier music, like just everything about what he does, like his style, everything. Probably all time. There's a couple all timers up there. It's tough. Currently, what I'm listening to. I do really love the new Spite stuff. I love that latest single. I think that they're a great band. This is tough. New stuff that's been coming out. I really like this band, the band Camino. They're like a pop rock band. I try to diversify as much as I can, really. I don't know. There's been a lot of good records that have come out recently.
There really has.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff. I really like this new band, Foreign Hands, that came out. They're like a hardcore band. Dude, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of like even like the stuff that I've seen recently.
Everyone seems to like that new Turnstile.
Oh yeah, the new yeah.
that
It's
was
funny
really good.
because like everyone's like like they're so big for hardcore. Like to me right now, like they are the biggest rock band. Like
Yeah,
just like a rock band.
It's not
you
really
know?
hardcore. They did some kind of different stuff on there. They had like a track with Blood Orange, and he makes like different. I don't know what genre.
Yeah,
it is.
it's Alien Love Call. That's a really good
Yeah.
song. It's like my
Yeah.
favorite song on the album.
I love how they've kind of, because that band is, like hardcore through and through with everything, like all the other bands that they've been in. But I feel like they've made this like whole culture shift and everything, and they've taken it much beyond just music itself. And I think that they're going to be like our generation of like just something new, like something completely new. And I think that it's like very needed. And I'm glad that there's no like, I feel like always anytime a band starts to get a bit of success, some people like turn their nose at it, or they're like, oh, well, this is blah, 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 whatever. And I feel like everyone is behind that band, which is awesome.
Yeah, if anything, their support got way bigger. Like
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
Yeah, what they played they played Jimmy Fallon recently. Or was it Jimmy?
yeah.
One of those Jimmys.
One of the late shows.
One of the
One of the
Jimmys.
Jameses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing Coachella. They have like a massive tour right now. It's all sold out. Like, good for that.
I think it was cool that Post Malone had Gate Creeper on Posty Fest, but it ended up not happening because I think COVID. But yeah, that's crazy. Like Gate Creeper was gonna play, alongside Post Malone and shit. I think that's super fucking
Turnstile
cool.
opened for Suicide Boys.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Post Malone, he comes from like the metalcore background. Like he's very close with like when we toured with like the Crown the Empire guys, like he's best friends with all of them because they're all from like the Dallas area, and he used to like, I don't know if this is true, but like I remember something of like he would like almost play guitar in Crown or
Yeah,
like
he tried out
almost,
for them.
yeah, or something like that.
I've heard
And,
that.
Yeah, he's like big into like metalcore though. Like he was just like a scene kid, a metalcore kid, and then just became like the biggest fucking artist on earth. But I love Post Malone too. But it's cool to see that like come up out of that genre, and then basically take over, music as a whole. But yeah, man, there's a lot of new music right now that I've been jamming, and then some stuff that I always go back to, at the same time.
What's your favorites to go back to? Ones that you always albums that you think will never.
I need to pull out my Spotify.
Yeah, I think we asked,
the cheat sheet.
We asked the question before. It was like, what's something you can sit and listen to like front to back without skipping?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, there's a couple records like that. That's how I kind of judge. Like, there's 3 Under Oath records that I feel like that like really changed my life in like heavy music. But that's why they're just like my favorite band. Let me see what I've been going back to.
It doesn't have to be heavy music. Whatever you like.
The new Vane record, if you guys
Oh my
have
God,
listened,
that
that's
is
a really
insane.
good record.
I love that. I love it. To them probably about 2 months ago. They have such a cool sound.
Yeah, they're honestly, I got really back into like early.
Talking about the Kanye.
Yeah, sorry about that
Talking
technical
about Kanye.
difficulty. But what were we talking about? Kanye, you said?
The
Yeah.
Genius documentary, but you were saying you were listening to some Kanye stuff recently.
Yeah, because it was like I feel like everything like of the last couple of years of Kanye, you're just like, oh, this is chaos, this is whatever, and then like I started watching that doc, and like the first episode, you're like, oh my God, like this dude has like when he's just like going through and he starts like writing certain things, like even like Through the Wire or whatever, and you're like listening to it, you're like, these are amazing songs, and you forgot about that. You're like, I listened to this years ago, and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah, they
It's
put his first album back in like the top 10 albums.
Yeah, they're charting songs with College Dropout, right?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Yeah, and I watched that too, and it's so crazy to think he played All Fall. I always see it. He played All Falls Down for like 5 different people, and they all just ignored him. I'm like, that is such an amazing song, and they all just didn't care.
I wish more people could have that on film, like successful people of like showing somebody like one of the most like amazing songs ever, and them just like ignoring you.
Yeah, people were
you're
saying like how much. Imagine how much we didn't hear.
Yeah, yeah, for real. But yeah, that was like a little blast from the past. There's a couple bands. I mean, like I dive back and forth with Slipknot sometimes in those realms. I'll even go back to like earlier Bring Me the Horizon and jam that
so
like
good.
Suicide Season
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like there's a lot of records that are like certain points in my life that you're like really nostalgic about. I used to really love this band Lydia for a while. So I was on tour. I used to have like to fall asleep a lot of the times. Like I used to find like sleep records, so like kind of soft or whatever records, and like Lydia, Illuminate was one of those for me. Really early story so far is like something I like to go back to. That takes me back to like early 2010s. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of good new heavy coming out. I feel like it's definitely people are starting to go like either like super heavy, or they're going like trying to go to like the radio rock scene.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little void in like the metalcore-ish area, but I feel like hopefully that'll come back.
Yeah, there's like only a few bands that I could say that like stay true to their sound a lot, and I would say like Knock Loose definitely is one. Like their new record was one of the craziest things I've ever heard. I think.
Especially the video that came along with it.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely perfect.
The new EP is really good. Yeah, they've like to me they've like almost they're gonna be another one that kind of just like ascends out of like hardcore band into just being like a genuine like rock or a metal band. Like they're gonna be like a Gojira or like a Lamb of God or like something like in 20 years they're going to still be playing huge festivals, and they're going to be like one of those like I forget the word for it, not like or like just kind of like a staple of the genre. And I feel like there's always been like I've seen bands that I feel like could go there, and then they either like give up or they do something odd, but it's just like that band they've really doing everything right. Like if you're a young band trying to like build what you want to do, you should follow the path of how they've gone and done a lot of the things that they do.
Yeah, it's crazy in this short amount of years how I've seen them go from playing like a small stage at Warped Tour to playing like Blue Ridge, a huge festival, and it's just crazy.
That was insane. Blue Ridge was fucking nuts.
Yeah, they've been doing and I like it because there's a lot of bands out there that like wouldn't go and like I mean maybe not so much now, but there's a lot of bands like of like certain genres that like wouldn't go and tour with a Beartooth, or they wouldn't go and tour with this, or they wouldn't do they don't want a certain look or something like that. And I think
that's kind of how it was at like Warped Tour. I'm not saying that they like were put there or wherever, but wherever they put them on like the smallest of stages, and I guess they were still new.
Yeah.
But we walked right past them. We didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
They had like a small stage, and then like what 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
There they are.
They're headlining across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's cool to see bands like that. And I guess that also kind of brings up, like, I really was in the Under Oath tour as well. I was really looking forward to seeing Every Time I Die. I had the chance to tour with them once, and just, like, absolute legends. And, yeah, it's a real bummer, but they're another band up there, too, a little bit of nostalgia tree.
Yeah, they had a Knocked Loose featured Keith Buckley, I think.
On a song? Yeah, I know that they're really close. And they both kind of have, like, similar mentalities on a lot of things. So, I mean, those are good bands to follow as far as, like, not just, like, music-wise, but, like, how you carry yourself as band members and what you do as a band and how you kind of present yourselves. Like, those two are really good, bands to follow, at least on that path, and kind of, like, study a bit, you know?
Yeah. Totally off topic, but that's just where my mind goes. You're the first person who had on the podcast that is currently verified on Instagram.
Nice.
Really?
We've had Will and Austin from Lorna, but they got verified after they came on.
Damn, we got to bring them back.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they're just extremely busy, as you can
Oh,
imagine.
yeah,
you know,
100.
selling out shows in London right now.
Yeah, that London show looked crazy.
That shit was nuts. It was like 1,500 people. It was crazy.
Yeah, they're my favorite little tiny local band from New Jersey.
Yeah, that shit was nuts.
Yeah, like everything about that band, I mean, persistence through everything. Like, talk about a band or a group of people that have had every shitty thing thrown at them and dealt with and stuff like that. And, they've been around for a minute. Like, they were when, we were all in high school. We were all playing shows together. Austin used to be in a band called Bandit, who I used to love when I was, like, and he's younger than me by a couple years, but he was, like, 13 in that band or something like that. And, they were such a sick band. And then eventually years later after Lorna Shore, like, he got in there and stuff like that. But yeah, with everything, like the fact that everything's happened to them and the way that it is and that they're really starting to grow and shit like that, like, it's, like, honestly amazing. And it was funny because we announced the Lorna Shore show at House, and it was, like, before, like, I obviously had that confirmed and wrapped up before, like, the EP was in. I didn't even know any of that, like, the EP was coming. I just was like, oh, Lorna Shore hometown show, whatever. And then they announced it. Tickets went on sale. I figured we'd do, like, like 40, 50, in the first week. And we did, like, almost 200 in the first day. And I was like, this is wild, And I was, like, texting Austin about it or whatever. Because originally there was 3 bands on it. We're going to put a couple locals. And I'm like, yo, like, let's let this sell for a minute. And then we can kind of pick from what we want to do. And, yeah, they sold out, like, 5 or 6 weeks before the show. We kept it there, but I think we could have moved it and done, like, 1,000 tickets for that, maybe more.
Absolutely.
And it's just so funny because me and Austin were, like, talking. I had him come out, and him and his girlfriend at the time, they were doing video and photo for an Anthony Green show I was doing at House, because he does that. And I was like, hey, come out, shoot this show. I'd love for you to cover it. And, we just want content for this or whatever. And we were talking about that. And that at that time, the show was just sold out. And this was, like, probably a month before it happened or something. And he was like, yeah, man, like, we're playing this headliner. And, like, we can't get anybody to support us. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we're sending offers to these bands that we think are totally fair to, like, support, being like the bill, play underneath them, right, on the tour, but come on the tour. And they're like, yeah, we have all these bands. And they're just like, nah, this, and this. Wow. And I'm just like, dude, just fucking stick through it. Like, you guys are, obviously, these shows are really selling really well. It seems like there's some steam or whatever. And it's just, like, funny that, like, not even, like, a month or so goes by and, like, they're just, like, the hottest band. And
have you heard of Endless? Is Austin's brothers in Endless, right? Forgot.
Yeah.
Dan Ward? Or I don't know if
he's
that's his brother.
The singer.
Yeah.
He's actually cutting my hair next week.
But that's not his brother. That's not his brother.
No, his brother's the bassist.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, I do know Endless. I'm familiar. I think they all used to be in a band called, like, Canker Sore or something.
I haven't heard of that, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, it's cool that, like, they're still, like, doing it and, like, just how quickly things change. And, like,
they skyrocketed.
Yeah, and I hope that just continues to grow. Like, I hope that they Because when you think about like what's the biggest death metal or deathcore band on earth, like Cannibal Corpse, like is that a death metal? Like I can't even think.
Yeah.
But, like I feel like I hope that they can just really ascend that genre too and become like I hope that next year we can like I can put them at Starland and they sell that out, and I think that they're well on their way. So,
Absolutely, yeah. They're doing insane stuff right now.
Yeah.
And I thought they were already popular. That's the thing. I always thought that Lorna was already popular. It's just insane how even more popular they've gotten since the last EP.
I think they were popular, but I think that they were also like popular in like the death metal world, and I think that they I don't know. It seemed like they always like had to like prove themselves, right? Like to the normal person, it's like, oh yeah, they're big, they can do like 2-3. But I feel like they were always like they never really did like a Jersey hometown show for years. Like Adam was even saying, he's like before the house show, me and him were talking. He was like, dude, I can't remember the last time, and because without putting them at a Champs or a Dingbats or some shit like that, like a real venue, like a real show and everything like that. So I'm glad that everybody like they've definitely tapped into something new. They're really good online, and the music is obviously like great, so they it's a perfect storm for them to come. And I hope new record and everything else, I hope that they just fucking continue to just explode. So
yeah, that show was crazy, and I loved the local support was Bleed and Sentinels.
Yeah.
We've had them both on the podcast too, but
Good
like,
homies.
Yeah. Bleed is one of my favorite local bands, like top 3.
Oh yeah, they're really.
Yeah.
I love them. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I like to put them on a lot of those types of shows. And there, I feel like I've done a lot of shows with Bleed. Then Sentinels, obviously, I feel like I've worked with those dudes for a lot of shows and stuff too. And I'm glad that they're signed and they're doing a lot more touring and stuff now. Like it's nice. It's nice to see like Jersey bands doing it. It's nice to see people off touring and being successful and stuff like that. So it's great.
Yeah, I feel like the Jersey metal scene is huge, but it doesn't get talked about as much as it should.
It doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I feel like it's that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of talented bands. I mean, even like if you go all the way fucking back to like My Chem and Census Fail and the Brunswick scene and then like everything else that came past that, like Jersey's been like like an incubator of all this great talent and stuff through the years. That's why it's like I wish Jersey would tap back in with itself, and we have New York City bands and Philly bands and Boston. Like everybody's so like there's a community to be rebuilt here, and there's a lot of to offer. So it'd be cool to go back and be like a local band right now in the scene. Like I'd love to see what I could do with like being in a local band all over again. I feel like it'd be fun.
Do you have any like wild tour stories, show stories, something that you played? So you do definitely.
Oh yeah.
But what are some that like stick out to you? Like one good one. If like someone walked in and be like, "Hey, it's a crazy tour like moment." What would you tell them?
Someone threw a trash can.
I gotta think, man. There are so many. Let's think of an era. Is there an era or a time or a band? Give me a category.
Okay, I want to go with a cool era that I think was really like fun. It was like 2011 to like 2013. I feel like that was a cool era in music.
Wild tour stories. Well, the first time we did Warped Tour, I did Warped Tour, all of it with like Moss was 2013, and there were so many awesome parts of that tour and everything like that. Oh, man, this is tough. I guess wild tour stories.
It's pretty a broad question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll say this. So for me personally, I joined like Moss. I left There I Breathe in May of 2012, and then Chris hit me up a couple weeks later, and both of our bands had toured together a couple months prior, and he was like, "Hey, drummer we had stepping down. Do you want to come, play drums for us?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay." So the first date of that tour, and it was Attack, We Came as Romans, Woe Is Me, Abandon All Ships, like that era. And the first day of the tour was at Starland. And I'd never played Starland before in my life, and it was like beyond sold out. And no one really knew that I was in like Moss, because I didn't say anything. Like I just went out to Ohio, practiced for the 10 days or whatever. So I just showed up. And I feel like when I went out there was like all these people were like, what the fuck is this dude doing here or whatever. And like that show to me was like one of like the staples of like for me, I guess like reaction wise or something, because like that was like a big moment for Jersey, for myself. Man, I'm trying to think of like a little bit of like a wild tour story. There's a lot.
Like, have you ever like like run into like a favorite artist of yours and you've just been like kind of like shocked, like, oh my god, I just met this person at like Warped Tour, a show you played, a tour?
Yeah, so kind of funny, and I don't mean to bury this person at all. I mean, whatever. They don't know who I am. But we were on AP tour, maybe 2013. It was Miss May I, Ghost Inside Us, Amity Affliction, and Glass Cloud. And we were playing in St. Pete. And at the time, a couple of the dudes in the bands were friends with this dude, Jack Burns. He used to be in Oceana and a band called Decoder. And he was best friends with Spencer from Under Oath. And they lived in St. Pete or whatever, so he brought Spencer out to the show. So we played or whatever, so sick, whatever. And I'm, like, packing up my drums, blah, blah, blah. And, like, Jack comes up. He's like, hey, good set or whatever. And Spencer's talking to somebody else behind him. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be weird. This is my favorite band of all time. Could you just introduce me to them, And he's like, dude, of course, whatever. So he's like, yo, Spencer, comes over. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm Greg, blah, blah, blah. Really nice to meet you. I'm just, like, a massive fan, of Under Oath, like, favorite band or whatever. It's sick that you're, like, at the show or whatever, and it was cool, blah, blah, blah. And he was just kind of like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. I was just like, and like our guitar player was next to me, and like he was also an Under Oath fan, same thing. And then like he walked away, and we looked at each other, and we're just like, "Fuck, dude."
And then, your heroes.
I'll give it to him. Like this was when like Under Oath was like disbanded for a couple of years, so maybe he was just like weirded out by the question. But like, that was the first time like I'd met someone from that band, and I was just
benefit of the doubt.
I was like, "Fuck, man,
yeah.
Don't meet your heroes."
I'd probably be distraught. It's like my favorite band of all time is Avenged Sevenfold.
Nice.
If I met anyone from there and they did that to me, I'd probably just like crawl in bed for a week and just like not eat and anything.
Depressive episode.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd put like Devil Wears Prada was up there for me, and we were able to tour with them twice, and like I was like a huge fan of them, and like we got like close and we would like hang out a lot because we did like a US tour with them, Silverstein, Memphis Mayfire, straight into a Euro tour of the same lineups, and it was like 6 weeks and 6 weeks, right, back to back, and like getting in close with them and like going out, like having drinks or whatever and stuff like that. Like even though like well down the line of touring, like this was 2016 or 17, like I was a grown up then or whatever, but it was still like fuck, man, like I came up on this band, like I was front row at Warped Tour in 2008 watching you guys, like this is and to like keep that down, but it's cool. There was like a lot of bands through my life that I always wanted to check off that I toured with, and they were definitely one of them.
I guess like in our sense, it's like we interviewed this band, like we love them. Like I remember we interviewed Kublai Khan at House actually. Nice. when they played there last year, and I was freaking out. Like walking into it, I was freaking out. I sat down, I was freaking out. I even told him, I was like, yo, I love Kublai Khan so much. You guys are fucking insane. You're like one of my favorite guitarists like right now, and I was freaking out. So I can't imagine what it's like to just sit down and have like beers with one of your favorite bands, tour with them for 12 weeks straight.
Yeah, because you just said you toured with like a bunch of bands that even I love. I'm like, I can't even imagine what it's like.
And then just casually playing with them.
It started, because it kind of like, but also like, the whole thing with that is like, you never want to, like, it's like an unspoken rule when you first start the tour, like you gotta, like the first tour with the Air I Breathe when we got signed was the Screaming Like You Mean It tour. All right, here you go. Here's the craziest tour story for you. Oh. So first Air I Breathe tour or whatever, or signed one that, the record without, it was the Screaming Like You Mean It tour. It was headlined by Breathe Carolina. When it was offered to us, it was told that it was going to be Under Oath. They switched it. And then it was Chiodos, who was like, I was a huge Chiodos fan. Yeah. I See Stars, Color Around, whatever. So we're doing a couple routing dates. The tour starts in Seattle. So us, Chiodos, and Color Morale are doing like Indiana and Iowa, and then we're going up and playing up there. So drummer of Chiodos at the time busts his ankle. And so we show up to the Seattle show or whatever. They can't play because his ankle's fucked up. So their keyboardist Bradley, who I'm like a super fan of Chiodos. He comes up to me just because like we were the only like shreddy metal band on the tour, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, do you think you could play drums for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, like probably whatever." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Tomorrow the show in Portland. Like you need to play our full set, and then probably all of the West Coast dates of this tour, or until whatever Tanner's ankle gets better." And I was like, yeah, dude, whatever, we'll figure it out. So I'm like panicking at this time. So there's like a 10-song set list, and like 6 of the songs are like vintage Chiodos, and then they like had this new record at the time with a couple songs. I was like, fuck, I don't know these new, but the other songs I'm like, been playing these since I was in high school, whatever. Like I know this. So like it was just like so funny because like all of us, like we had done a couple tours as a signed band with like Plot and You when we were both baby bands, and like Color 'em Around when we were both baby bands, and like this was like the first real theaters, you know, like 1,000 kids a night or more. And like we would play, so like doors would always be at 6, the Air Breathe would be like 6:30, and Chiodos would be like 9 o'clock, you know. So it's like we played like a decent crowd, have fun or whatever. And then like so that night in Portland we played. Then I went to their hotel and I was just sitting there with their drummer at the time, like playing everything out, playing with their click tracks and stuff. I went back in there, room was like packed, room was juiced. Everybody from our label Rise Records was there because it was Portland. Everybody at the time. There was this drum company called Truth Custom Drums. They're still around, but that was like, you know, Aaron Gillespie played them. Everybody, all of them were there. Like, everybody was there. My band was there. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm about to walk out and play with Chiodos right now. Like, I'm an 18-year-old. Like, let's just fucking rip it. Like, we've never played together. Like, we've never played a show together. And, like, went out and just fucking rocked it. And then did a couple more shows on that tour. But to me, I was just like, this is, in the second day of the tour, right? I'm just like, this is craziness. And then like as the tour went on, it was just like we learned so much. Like we'd never been on a tour with bands that had tour buses, or like how things worked, or like this, or like why is there food in this green room?
Yeah.
Why do we have a green room? You know, like that type of shit. So you kind of learn as you go, and then that sets you up for when you tour with those bands that you're like, these are the cool, like, we love this band, but you show up and you're like, hey, I'm Greg, you know,
Yeah.
and they're shaking your hand, you're like, I know everything about you, like, and that never really changes, but it's like, it's cool, you know, like, it makes it, like, even no matter where that band is at the time or whatnot, like, it's a really cool feeling, for sure.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You fucking play with Chiodos.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
was, that's like an old ass, that's like long-haired glasses me. This is like
Yeah, I
18-year-old
was
Greg,
looking at your interview with Brian Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was it. That's funny. What's so funny about Brian Stars is that like he was like the interviewer at the time.
Yeah.
Like if you were going, so he was from like the Midwest, I think like Iowa, Nebraska, or Kansas, one of them in there. And like anytime you'd play in that area, he would like come. But it was always like you're like, you know, all the big bands asking Alexandria at the time, and like all these bands were doing these interviews and they're getting crazy views. So like you're always like, you know, like hopefully we get the Brian Stars interview when we go through there. Like hopefully we get it. And then like hindsight years later, like oh these are so cringy. But like at the time, like that was like if you could get a Brian Stars interview, like that was like a big deal. And like a lot of people would see it, and a lot of kids would come up to the show and like reference the jokes that you made and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, your hair was long in that.
Dude, my hair was long up until like the month before we did Warped Tour, just because I was like, it's gonna be so fucking hot every day, like I literally need to cut it.
Tattoo melted off his skin.
Damn.
Yeah, I got a tattoo the day before Warped Tour, and I went thinking I could like keep it covered. Nah, the whole thing melted, but it healed perfectly fine.
Damn.
Yeah,
That
it's
is-
can you pull my sleeve down for me, Chris?
Yeah, I got you.
It's this Shy Guy right here.
Damn.
Yeah, and it healed perfectly fine. But it
Melted.
literally melted. Like after I had to peel it, and it was so nasty, I thought the tattoo was done. I was like, I'm an idiot. Why did I do this? Like I knew myself, because it's not my first tattoo, not to do it. But I was like, this is the last Warped Tour I can go to. I have to go.
Yeah.
So I
No.
definitely had to do it.
Dude, that's some of those days, because like I remember on Warped Tour we'd play like I remember the Vegas date, we played at like 12:30 on blacktop. It was like 115 degrees. I'm sitting up there, like you're already covered in sweat, dehydrated by the time you've set your shit up on stage.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, and you're just sitting there, and then like a song, and you start getting like stomach cramps because you're so dehydrated. And I'm like sitting there, just like fucking please make it through the next. Like don't faint. Like just don't faint.
Yeah.
Which is like tough because you also like look out in the crowd and everyone's like moshing and like jumping and stuff like that. You're like, I don't understand how you're standing out there. 'Cause at least like we're covered a
Yeah.
bit.
They have
like,
to do it for one day. You have to do it for months.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I give so many, and there are people out there and they just stand there all day because they want to watch all their bands and everything like that. And I'm like, hey, but like that's their show, you know, like that's their thing a year. So you're not gonna go out there and like half-ass it. You're like, yo, they paid fucking good money to come here. Like you're gonna give them 25 minutes. The best you got.
If you can go back and do it again, would you?
Yeah, in a second. Warped Tour was the most fun I've had, probably ever on a tour. Because it was like you were touring, but it was also like camp. Because like you would show up and you'd be like amongst all these buses, and you're like kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? Like think PNC. Like if you got out your bus, like where would you go? Like you can't walk to a town. You can't like you're not near.
There's literally nothing.
You're near a highway. That's how it would be. So we'd be playing these like
parking lot.
Yeah, like we'd be playing these amphitheaters or like whatever, and you're like kind of in the middle of nowhere. You're like you're not in a downtown area. So like you get up every day. Everybody goes to the same catering place. You like finding where your stages are, where your merch person is, or whatever, and like everybody just kind of chills. But it would be like really cool because you'd play. Every day is different. You could play, and then you're like, hey, there's 20 bands on this tour I love. Oh, they're about to play in 15 minutes. Oh, let's grab a drink and go. Or like, hey, let's pop over there and watch some song, like, so it was really cool. And it was cool also just because like everyone's different genres too. So you can like meet, like a lot of the times, if you're in a metalcore band, you're probably not going to tour with, Citizen, like, or whoever else was on Story So Far was on that tour, Man Overboard and stuff like that. Like you're never really going to tour with them unless it's like a Warped tour. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I had a sick question, but it totally just slipped my mind because
that happens to me.
I was just daydreaming
time.
about Warped Tour because I miss it so fucking much.
Yeah, I remember my first Warped Tour. It was like 100-something degrees, and I was like, I hate my life right now.
Mine was 2015. It was Asking Alexandria, Pierce the Veil, August Burns Red, Memphis Mayfire. It was fucking sick. I only got to go to 4 Warped Tours, but it was great.
Yeah, my first one was the year after yours, 16.
16? What was that? Oh, it was Vanna. I remember I saw Vanna there for the first time. Wage War was like breaking
Wage War was
out.
like the first band that played.
And look at them now.
Yeah.
But we're playing with fucking Slipknot.
Yeah, good for
Insane.
them. They're a great band too.
Yeah,
Great
saw
guys.
probably about 150 people at Warped Tour.
Yeah.
There, and now they're going to play in front of, thousands.
It's still such a crazy story, like how we found them.
Yeah, I came out of the shower.
Yeah.
You were like,
Literally,
"Yo,
I was-
look at this band, man."
Yeah, I was at Chris's house, and he just went in the shower, was bored. I was just listening to music on his YouTube, and then I saw, like, this, it was, like, Wage War Alive. Like, it only had, like, 5K views. I was like, what is this? And I went to it, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I just love stuff like that. When you find something,
You see
when
them
it's
get big.
niche and small, and then it just blows up and gets big, you're like, that's my homie right there.
No, it's cool. It's cool to be able to, like, see that and, like, follow a band that you like and watch them gain success. You're like, this is really cool.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a different singer or something like come on stage, like share the stage with your band before?
Like a guest vocalist or
Yeah, like, oh, this guy's coming up for this song.
Yeah. Caleb, the first tour I did with like Moss, Caleb from Attack Beartooth, he would come up and do a part. Landon would always, from Plot and You, would always come, because we toured with them too a billion times. They would always come up and do this part in a like Moss song. Jerry Rausch, he was the vocalist.
Oh, yeah.
Space Guy Eats Airplane, and then he did Mice and Men for a bit, and then he was in a band Glass Cloud, which we toured with him so many times. Like we were randomly on so many tours together. He would come up and do a part. I don't know. It felt like if we were like vibing with another band or we were friends with another band on a tour, like they would come up and do a part. So. Yeah, a good amount, and that was always fun.
I always think that's like super cool.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite of all time is when I saw Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens. You gotta guess what happened.
Yeah.
King for a Day. That's like the coolest one in my opinion. I've seen stuff happen a few times, but that's like the best one because that song is iconic. That's like an emo anthem.
Yeah.
I like to think that it's I like to think that it's organic. Like they come out with that without the intentions to come out. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna be all right, and then just walk up on the stage.
Oh, if
but
you
I know
insist,
it's,
like,
if you insist,
You
then I know they kind of planned it out before.
But no, I think that's definitely cool. I think that's a good look, and it's a cool like camaraderie too. But yeah, it's kind of like if we're like, because it also kind of happens like if you're like another fan of the band or whatever, and your band on tour, you're like, yo, I really love this song you guys do. Like, let me come do a part. Like, I feel like that's kind of how it happens a lot of the time. Unless it's like previously recorded or whatever, but yeah, we've definitely had some. I'm probably missing some people, but yeah, we've definitely had some cool parts there for sure.
That's cool. I was looking at your Twitter. You're a sports fan.
Yeah.
Who are your teams?
All Philly.
Oh, this
Sixers,
Chris is gonna
Eagles,
go crazy now.
Flyers, Phillies.
Chris gonna go crazy with sports now.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Are you a Giants guy or a Jets guy?
Giants,
You got a good coach at least now.
I guess.
Just look at a garbage quarterback. Yeah.
Coach Frank.
I'm not a scumbag Jets fan.
It's I can't even make fun of Jets fans because I just feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Why would you
just-
choose to be a Jets fan?
Yeah, it's just a sad
torture
franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, big sport. I guess sports is like kind of like a good like hobby, like you guys were asking me like some other time, like especially at the end of the day, like I like coming out and just like, you know, throwing a game on, whatever that is. Like March Madness is coming up. Like I never went to college, so I don't really have a team, but like
I'm gonna lose so much money on March Madness.
I just like watching like exciting shit happen, you know, and even like I love football and stuff, so the playoffs and the Super Bowl, like all that or whatever, and. Yeah, I'm a big. I like some competition. I just like something a little bit electric, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I find myself like getting home from work early, and I'll bet on like a random ass college game that's on at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let me bet on the University of Akron.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look good this year.
Choose a random ass team. You don't
I
know
swear to
any of the
God, I'll be
players.
like, yo, what's on TV? I'll look at it, and be like, yeah, they got good odds. Let me throw $5 on that.
Yeah.
They got good odds.
I think that's called a problem.
So you know how
Yeah.
like, you know how sports games have overalls for the teams and the players. Do they do that in real life with the average points and shit that they score for each player?
Like, I guess
Like-
you
like
say,
averages?
They do over unders.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
over-unders.
No, I'm
Okay.
saying like the overall of like.
like how in 2K they
Yeah,
got
like how they
overalls
have-
for characters. You said they got overalls in
Oh,
real life.
yeah.
I don't
that
know if they.
for-
I don't know if they really do that. Sometimes they do like power rankings, so they'll rank the teams. But I don't know.
What if you just pick a shitty team like they're power ranking 7? Like, I know there's
Power Ranking 7 is really good, actually.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
there's
it's
7
scored.
out of however many. Like NFL, 32.
Oh, out of all the teams.
7 out of 32.
Yeah,
Yeah, what are you
okay.
saying? I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, I thought it was
You're
like
confusing
one,
the shit out
I thought it was
Yeah,
like
you're
one,
confusing
you know
me
how
too. I was on your side for a second, and now
You
you
don't
lost
get what
me.
I'm saying?
Now
No.
you lost
All right,
me.
so you know how you can have like a 99 overall player and you
Yeah.
stack your team with 99 overall players and you
Okay.
make like a god to your team. I'm saying, do they do that in real life where they'll rate a player based on their abilities? Like you get what I'm saying?
No.
Not real life, but I feel like
He
it's
gets what I'm
pretty.
saying.
It's pretty similar to the Madden ratings, to the most.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess.
If you give somebody a 99, honestly, I mean, unless you're like hurt, like a Michael Thomas got a 99, but
You're a fraud.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely a bit. I feel like you kind of know, but any given day, as you know, as a gambler, I do gamble myself. And putting it on the fact that it's an app now is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's too accessible.
Yeah.
That's why they had to take away video game gambling.
That was the thing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you could go bankrupt in Counter-Strike. Someone takes
Oh, yeah.
Someone takes mommy's credit card and starts buying all these skins.
Yeah, you buy like skins for like
Yeah.
knives and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I mean,
It was always rigged too. Like, have you seen like Steve will do it on YouTube?
Yeah, Nelk Boys, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like apparently there's some like whole like hijinks with. He works with. I forget what betting website it is.
I don't know anything about.
It's like
sports.
sketchy, and like they'll always show him winning, and if you use his promo code, they get part of your losses. So that they're kind of like encouraging you to play more, so you lose more, so they make more money. So it's like a whole thing,
Oh, yeah. Damn.
which is shitty, yeah. But
I saw they just did a they did a podcast with Donald Trump.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Not to get political.
Yeah, but no.
That's going to be huge. That'll be huge.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
They're talking. Apparently, they're talking to him about him being a DJ. I don't know why that was so.
Donald
funny.
Trump was a DJ.
No, he said he picks the songs. He doesn't spin the tracks.
Oh, well, shit.
He said YMCA.
Doesn't spin the records.
He said YMCA gets the crowd jumping.
Yeah.
That's the actual. He said YMCA get the crowd jumping.
Shaq's a DJ.
Yeah, no, Shaq is like a EDM DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diesel. That's
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
If you had to put on one song to get the crowd jumping, what would it be? All right, let's say you're at like a rock show.
Intermission.
Intermission.
You want to keep the crowd going.
So here's a little inside hint for the next time you guys go to a show, right? So before the headlining band, that house music that they're playing, 9 times out of 10 is on purpose. So like when you go and see like an August Burns Red, like Toxicity by System of a Down will probably get played right before because they want the whole crowd to go like wake up, wake up, wake up. 'Cause
Yeah.
Chop
they
Suey.
want to Chop Suey, my
Yeah.
bad, Chop Suey. So they want to play those songs in that 20-minute changeover that get the crowd to participate without them without them thinking like, oh, this or that. So I would say for like metal shows, I'd say like Chop Suey would be up there.
That's funny because August Burns Red is my most seen band of all time. I've seen them for my 11th time on Saturday with Killswitch.
Nice.
I love them so fucking much.
Nice.
They're top 5 for me.
You gotta pay
And yeah, they play
attention
Chop
to the
Suey
intermission.
every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even covered it.
Don't Stop Believing by Journey. A lot of bands use. What's the other big one? We did a tour and it was Fit for a King and in Heart's Wake, and in Heart's Wake did a Bon Jovi's Halfway There, Living on a Prayer. They would like play that right before, and like that would get a pop from the crowd because that's what you want to do. They're just trying to warm the crowd up to like be like singing along and shit like that. That when they come out, they're like like they're already warmed up like without even knowing. So.
I remember seeing Drowning Pool in like 2015. And they had a cover of 99 Problems by Jay-Z. It wasn't the original, it was a cover. It was interesting.
That's amazing.
That would be a good hype up song.
Yeah.
I like when some venues will play rap songs during intermission. I think that's cool, especially at metal concerts.
Yeah. It's like, why play more metal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wait, you have some inside information then on these types of things.
Yeah.
What are some like some things about booking shows or even during the show like that go on that people don't know? It's like some secret or something. I don't know how to explain it, but
Why would you want to give away his secret?
Every band puts a piece of broccoli in their back pocket for
shut
good
the
luck.
fuck up, Michael.
A secret. I don't know. There's a couple of just things like that like people probably, and not all bands do that, but like a lot of more established headliners. Like I've seen A Day to Remember a few times, and like they've almost had the same music right before they play to like hype the crowd up and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of bands that are on tour normally play in like some type of like stage clothing, so they're normally playing in the same clothes every night. They put them on right before they play. They take them off right after they're done. That way, they're not just constantly ruining their clothes. Because if you're on tour, you got a suitcase. You know, I guess that's one thing. I don't really know. I feel like every band kind of has their own other like.
That stage clothing thing you just said. That I know for a fact that Lorna has to do that because they like.
Oh yeah,
they
why were
were
they soaking wet?
black.
Why were they soaking wet? They're always soaking wet.
Yeah.
I swear to you, at every show they're always soaking wet. In those
Well, they're wearing
shirts.
all
I've only
black.
played 3
It's
shows
those
ever, but
black
I'll tell
dress
you,
shirts,
you
bro.
get hot up there.
It's those black dress shirts. There's no way they're not taking those things off.
Yeah, I
They're
would
always
strip
soaking wet.
immediately after.
Yeah, the way to
They
retire.
probably, so they probably keep those. They might have like 2 sets, and then they'll put them on right before you play. That way, when you're done, you can take them right off. You're not just like, these are the clothes I wore. You know, like, you can change, sweat, like shower or whatnot.
All right, guys, we're going to IHOP, drenched in sweat.
Literally.
Well, Upon a Burning Body did that. They would wear suits live. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
can't
used to
imagine
wear-
stuff
Oh,
like
Used to wear,
that.
like full tailored
But
suits.
they're probably like custom though, so like they're stretchy probably. They're not
Yeah,
just
but
like
still,
regular
just
suits.
imagine playing in this like.
Yeah, they
the
played those
sun
on Warped Tour. They
Yeah.
wore those
Yeah,
suits.
that's brutal.
Yeah, that's like craziness.
How do you decide what bands get food in the green room?
That's a good
All right, guys, you're gonna have 5 people seeing your show, so you guys get nuggets.
Yeah.
So when you negotiate like a tour package, right? So there's the guarantee for the package, right? So it's an overall amount of money that you're going to pay to this tour. So in most tour packages, it's that versus some type of gross of the door, like a door deal, right? So, and also factored into that is a catering budget into every show. So it could be anything from $200, $500 if it's a massive show, thousands, whatever that is. So when you advance the tour about a month before it happens, there's a tour manager or whatnot. So you'll advance and you'll say, hey, blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you everything. Well, this is the time we want to come load in. This is all the stuff we have. You advance that with the sound people or whatever. And then you'll be like, hey, there's $300 in catering. What do you guys want? Most of the time in like the smaller, like the house size shows, they'll be like a case of water for each band, maybe a case of beer for a couple bands, and then we'll take the rest in cash. It's called a buyout, which a lot of bands like because they'd rather just have a water and beer, take the cash, and go eat at a restaurant or do whatever they want with it. Sometimes if it's a bus tour or something and the tour just starts, they might say, hey, here's our rider, we can shop it. So normally the food would go to like the headliner and stuff like that because they can kind of pick. But a lot of the times they might be like, hey, here are the riders for every band, just grab everything from them and I'll just take the rest in cash. So it's up to the tour manager and the headlining band. They kind of determine where all that goes or whatnot. It's rare that venues do in-house catering anymore. Like most of the time it's like, we want chips and salsa or a veggie tray. So like before the show, we'll have somebody go and run to the grocery store, grab everything they need. They want Cliff Bars or whatever's on that thing, packs of water, beer, or whatever. And then sometimes people are like, no, just case water for each band. We'll take the rest in cash, and everyone will go do their own thing. It's like totally cool.
That's actually pretty cool. I've never really thought about it until I asked, but that's really cool. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, so it's like a separate thing. It doesn't affect the guarantee. It does go into like the show expenses overall, but Yeah, it can kind of go. So if like you're just starting a tour and like bands that are on a bus, maybe it's tough for them to get to the grocery store because they're parked at a venue all day. They drive to the next one, so they might be like, "Hey, dude, can you get like we're looking for like packs of undershirts, or we're looking for deodorant, or we're looking for cleaner for the butt, like anything like that." So it can really vary on wherever the tour is, where they're starting, what they're looking for, or whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of how you determine, just in the advance with the tour manager, determine who gets what, where it goes, and everything. That way, when everybody comes in, at least there's like a general understanding of like, we know what comes in, we know who's loading in first, when you're going to sound check, okay, then you'll be done. Then the opener will come and sound check, okay, our VIP's an hour before doors, we need to make sure everything's done and cleared off and everything. So, yeah, normally all figured out ahead of time.
That's pretty cool. How early are you like at the venue when there's a show usually?
Nowadays, depending on where I'm doing it, so like when we do stuff at like House of Independence or whatever, they have like a full staff and crew there and stuff like that. So I'll normally show up, a couple hours before doors, settle up with the locals or whatever, talk to the tour managers, say what's up, and then during the show, I mean, once everything's set up, it's kind of just running, right? Like that's the whole goal of it. Everybody has set times and everything goes. Then obviously you're kind of just around if like, there's an issue or a question or something, anything like that, kind of just like damage control. But, that venue, they have a great staff there and everything runs really smoothly. So normally, nothing really going on.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
The more you know.
I'm learning a lot over here.
I've
never
usually
really
we try to like have like a
either.
lot of laughs stuff. We've been laughing. I'm trying to learn,
You guys can ask whatever questions you want, man. I'm not, I know that makes it maybe tougher when I open the door to anything, but it's I'm an open book, man. I like to pass on anything I can, especially as you guys are continuing to book shows and playing bands and do a podcast and stuff.
Have you booked a large show in the last week at House? You don't have to say who, obviously, but
Not at House, but I just booked a show. It was a Veil of Maya, Born of Osiris tour for a venue in Easton, PA.
oh, you booked that one?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's sick.
Yeah, we have a cool deal with them that we just, I'll put offers, I'll book their shows on their behalf, but I don't really like go or anything. Like I just have a deal with them, so I just pass it over there. Actually, the thing, to go back to the original question way back about biggest show, we actually did do Polo G at the American Dream Mall,
Really?
so that's
Oh,
probably
okay.
like the biggest thing we've done. Yeah. Because I book with this company called Concert Crave, who's mainly like hip hop promoters, but we've been doing rock and everything else out of there. So
The American Dream Mall's about to go bankrupt, apparently.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, I heard they like the first, because they opened like 2020 or something,
Yeah,
like
sometime.
mid-pandemic.
What a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they've we did it all in like the theme park and stuff like that. Did about 4,000 people.
That's what it was. I was going to say they managed to get a water park to catch on fire, but it was the theme park that caught on fire.
Damn, recently?
No, not recently. I think it's still, like, out of order.
Oh,
so it happened
wow.
a while ago, and they still haven't got it back together. But,
Damn.
Shit.
yeah, apparently that, or I don't know if American Dream in general or just the one that's in New Jersey is going out, but soon.
Doesn't sound like the American dream,
Yeah.
How was the difference in booking a rap show compared to when you book like metal or rock?
So much easier.
Easier?
Yeah,
Really?
so much
Really?
easier. Yeah, because like
This mainstream stuff, it's probably harder for rap shows because, like, it's such a smaller demographic. Wait, no, it's probably harder for shit we listen to, like metal and all that, rock and all that, because it's probably such a smaller demographic. I'm sure everyone knows who Polo G is, though.
So, like, he shows up like a hour before he plays. He goes out, he grabs a mic. All his set is in there with the DJ, whatever he's going to play. He goes up, he plays, and he's done. That's
Wow.
it. We put a DJ out there and like some hype people out there for like an hour and a half before he goes on. We have like 1 to 2 local openers that'll do 10 minutes, but it's like a continuous thing. It's like a continuous show.
Yeah.
As opposed to metal, it's like one band, they play for 25 minutes. Okay, changeover. Another band, blah, blah, blah. Like there's no gear. It's the same stage setup the whole time. He comes out, grabs a mic. There's no noon load in. There's no crazy thing like that. It's very...
Did you guys have to, like, promote this or anything, or just, like...
Yeah, we had to do a lot of like marketing and stuff for it. Apology's a little bit bigger, so it was helpful.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you posted on social media or something, and everyone's just like, "Oh, snap!"
Yeah, they have like on like the hip hop side of things, they have like a massive network of artists and stuff like that, and huge followings, stuff like that. So they were just, it's a lot of like running like digital ads, and then like even like hand flyering colleges, and then obviously social media is a huge thing as well. A lot of video content. Yeah, just a lot of making it aware and visible to people. Like, if you lived in this state, you're going to get an ad for it on your phone. Mm-hmm. Like, if you like anybody that's similar to Polo G or anything like that. So, but it was good. The mall's really happy, and we're working on some other, like, top 40 type artists to go in there eventually, like, through the summer and stuff.
With all this information we're getting, Antics Fest next year, 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
There you go.
We're going to sell out. Let's go for Starland.
Yeah, we're gonna sell out Starland.
Yeah, rent it out, dude.
Sell out PNC.
It's probably expensive to do Starland, right? I would imagine.
It's expensive. It's a big room.
Yeah. What's it hold up? Like 2,500 probably?
22, I think, on the
God
sellout.
damn.
Yeah, it's a couple people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen the line for that place does get pretty goddamn long when it's sold out.
Someone brought you to like PNC's empty ass mile-long parking lot, 10-mile-long parking lot, just left you in the middle of it, you cried.
Yeah.
Strange.
Is that just a random thought you had?
Yeah, it was just like, this shit's empty. Like, it's huge. It's big.
Yeah.
That is a big ass fucking parking
Okay.
lot.
No, because he was talking about at Warped Tour, they just drop you off at PNC, and it's like summer camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about, like, imagine that huge ass lot with all these different buses in the middle of nowhere. Because it's like, how many miles?
Yeah, how is it like waking up and you just have no clue where you are for a second? Like, you just wake up and you're like, what state am I in?
It's definitely, and you like kind of just like listen, right, to hear whatever the fuck is going on around you. And if you hear like someone like sound checking, you're like, fuck, I'm late. Like,
Yeah. Shit, gotta get up, throw some deodorant on, head out.
Yeah. It's weird, but you kind of get used to it after a while, but it's definitely a cool experience. Yeah, it's a lot. Obviously a big part of my life. And it's weird to even be off, like, this is only like 2 years of not touring after like 10 years basically of touring. So definitely a different vibe, but I like it. I do like the home life. Like, I like being able to plan some things and do some things, but never know what'll come down the line.
That is true.
Absolutely. Did you guys have any more questions before we start wrapping it up?
No,
Anything big?
Xfinity Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
seems
Xfinity
like-
Yeah,
had a
Xfinity
Wi-Fi,
wanted to
yeah.
connect to our laptop here. Don't fucking come near it. But dude, I want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank
This
you
has been a
for
blast.
sparing your time.
Would love to have you on again. Ask some more in-depth questions. I have some better ones prepared since I know you're an open book now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here to answer whatever you guys need, man.
Yeah.
On or off mic,
But yeah, I know I'll be at the Traders Left to Suffer show April 1st. Well, I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna be there?
Probably will be
Probably?
there. Probably should
Alright.
be there. Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, we have an interview with a band there. I'll say it after we get off.
Nice.
But yeah, dude, thank you so much
Thank you,
again.
yeah.
This is a blast. It's actually a really fun one just because it was so
Very
informative.
informative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot. So thank you again.
Hell yeah.
And we'll be talking soon.